Today's passage is Psalm chapter 32, verse 1 to 11. Title is The Blessing of God's Forgiveness. Of David, a Maschil. Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the one whose sins the Lord does not count against them, and in whose spirit is no deceit. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy on me. My strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. Therefore let all the faithful pray to you while you may be found. Surely the rising of the mighty waters will not reach them. You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Do not be like the horse or the mule, which have no understanding but must be controlled by bit and bridle, or they will not come to you. Many are the words of the wicked, but the Lord's unfailing love surrounds the one who trusts in him. Rejoice in the Lord and be glad, you righteous. Sing, all you who are upright in heart. Look at verses 1 and 2. David proclaimed who is the blessed person. Verse 1. Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Verse 2. Blessed is the one whose sin the Lord does not count against them, and in whose spirit is no deceit. That is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, and the one in whose spirit is no deceit. Many people try to deceive others and also to deceive themselves. However, the people whose spirit is without deceit are blessed. Those who have a pure heart and are upright are a truly blessed person. How could David confess the truth? He had experience when he committed adultery with Bathsheba. He also committed the crimes of vicarious murdering Uriah. From verse 3, he was groaning all day long because of condemnation caused by his sin. From verse 4, a heavy burden of God's judgment pursued him, and his strength was gone. People cannot be happy despite their social status or material possessions. Even if someone has a significant position and a lot of possessions, he cannot be happy until he solves his sin problem. Moreover, he has to die after groaning all his life. How could David resolve this problem? Look at verses 5 to 7. First, he acknowledged his sin. He didn't hide his sin. First of all, he confessed his sin before God. I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and God forgave the guilt of his sin. Verse 6. If a person has received forgiveness from God, even if the rising of the mighty waters comes to him, it will not reach him. Verse 7. God is our hiding place, and God will protect us from troubles, surround us with songs of deliverance. We must receive forgiveness from God before anything else. When we solve our sin problem, we can overcome any difficulties or trials. Look at verses 8 and 9. Now, David taught proactively people the truth he experienced. Verse 9. He said, do not be like the horse or the mule, which have no understanding. Because there are many sorrows for the wicked, however, God will cover those who trust in Him and encircle His love. Look at verse 10 and 11. Lastly, he proclaimed who God is. 10. Many are the words of the wicked, but the Lord's unfailing love surrounds the one who trusts in Him. Verse 11. Rejoice in the Lord and be glad, you righteous. Sing, all of you who are upright in heart. Rejoice. I have also had many experiences in which I had to worry and fear due to condemnation caused by my sin. Additionally, I have suffered from my past sins and mistakes. However, God forgave all of my sins, and Jesus had to suffer on the cross to serve my sin. I cannot continue living while bearing the burden of my sins. Because Jesus forgave and cleansed my sin, I can now take up my cross. I pray that I will confess my sin of Jesus, receive forgiveness from Him, and then go forward and take my cross. One word, God forgave the guilt of my sin.